Alright, here we are for lesson 4.5, and I believe the last lesson in Unit 4. If not, there's just one more lesson. So, either way, pretty cool. It's probably going to be my favorite lesson too because I love variables and expressions. I think variables are so cool. And at first, I didn't when I was in school learning about them, but they're so useful, and honestly, I do use them in everyday life whenever I'm trying to calculate unknown numbers. I just think they're so beneficial. So our lesson goals are to evaluate algebraic expressions, which evaluate just means to solve, and evaluate expressions with two variables. So we have a warm-up. We're going to stop and think. It says determine the next number in the x column and the y column in the table below. So we're going to pull on our awesome brain power from those sequences we learned about in 4.4, and we are going to apply that here. So let's first look at how the x is changing and how y is changing independently. So we're going to look up and down. X goes from 1 to 2, which is add 1, from 2 to 3, which is add 1. So I'm going to assume that we're going to add 1 and end up with 4 here. Okay, again, just some wishful thinking. Hope it works out. Y is changing 10 to 11, which is add 1. 11 to 12, which is add 1. So I'm going to say, since both of those were add 1, this one's going to be add 1 too, which is going to be 13. Okay. So, pretty simple, right? The cool thing about this is x and y don't have to change at the same rate. They just happen to in this problem. So, do not assume that just because x changed by 1, that y would also change by 1. It's not always the case. What relationship between the numbers in the x column and the numbers in the y column? So, go ahead. Look at how we filled out this table, come up with a beautiful explanation to write down here because you are smart brain people and you can write complete sentences about your math work. And then we're going to go on, finish that warm-up, super quick warm-up. Then you have a cool video to watch. The video is going to be very, very intuitive and give you lots of cool information. And they also wrote down these tables for you, so you should probably follow these tables in the video. It says we've got of course, our definitions up here that are so important because you're going to hear these definitions a lot, and Miss Norton's going to use these words a lot, and Miss Rustler's going to use these words a lot. And if you don't understand what they mean, then you're not going to understand what we're saying or the math we're doing. So a variable and a constant and an algebraic expression, all these super important. Variables are letters or symbols. In math, in the math that you're going to see for a long time, they're going to probably just remain letters. Could be any letter of the alphabet though. And they're usually lowercase, fun fact. And then a constant is a quantity that does not change. So that is like whenever you have a number by itself. So numbers by themselves are constants. Like in this problem, when if I were to write this expression, x plus 4 equals 7. Plus 4 is my constant because it doesn't change. It doesn't get more or less than plus 4. It's always going to be a positive 4. X is my variable, because it's just my unknown. And then 7 is my solution, my answer. And then your variable could be any letter. I could have used any letter of the alphabet. I just chose to use X. You can see down here they use X, they use M, and then on the next page that I did not print out because I'm silly, on your next page they also had some more practice for you there. Unless that was it. That's page 34. Nope, I was right. Okay. So that is, you have one page of notes from that video. So go watch that video, take those notes, fill out these tables, and then come back to me. And we'll do this activity together. So you have a matching game here. your matching game just requires paper and pencil, so it does not require anything else. Again, something that's going to be really quick. This is more about you understanding these terms than anything. Because if you understand these terms, what we're talking about, you can probably figure out how to solve these problems. You just got to decode them a little bit. It says, make the best match. Draw a line from a term or expression to the answer on the right. Okay, so let's just look at one. A quantity that does not change. Boop, boop, boop. We just saw that on the last page, and I'll even show it to you. What did we say a quantity that does not change is? It is a constant. Not to be confused with a constants, which we have in our classroom, but a constant. So I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to change my colors every time I draw a line too, because that's a cool thing to do, right? So something that stays the same is constant. Okay, evaluate 3x plus 4 when x equals 2. So that means every time you see x in a problem, in this question, you're going to replace it with a 2. So 3x actually becomes 3 times 2 plus 4. Remember, when a number and a variable are smack down beside each other, they are best friends and they are being multiplied. Okay, so this is one way to show multiplication with parentheses. I can also show it with a times symbol or a dot. Lots of ways to confuse your little brains, but you will prevail. You will succeed. That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so we have 3 times 2 plus 4. Use our order of operations. Gotta multiply first, okay? I also use parentheses to show multiplication, so you could consider that parentheses first. So 3 times 2 is gonna be 6. And then I'm gonna keep my 4. 6 plus 4 is gonna be 10. So that means 10 matches to 10. How nifty was that? They were right beside each other. My little X there. Let's do one more and then you guys can do the rest. Evaluate 20 plus x when x equals 45. Actually, let's do the one about that because it's got a lovely exponent and Miss Nora loves exponents. Evaluate 2 plus 3m, all of that squared, when m equals 1. Okay, so I'm going to make m equals 1, so I'm going to rewrite this. 2 plus 3 times 1 squared. Okay, so everything on the inside is in parentheses, so I got to do everything on the inside first. Well, inside the parentheses, I still have to follow the order of operations. Are there any exponents inside the parentheses? Nope. Are there any multiplication or division inside the parentheses? Yep. So I got to do that first. So I'm going to keep my parentheses because I still have them. 2 plus 3 times 1 is 3. And I got to keep my squared out here too. Okay, are my parentheses gone yet? Nope. So I got to finish solving on the inside of the parentheses to get rid of them. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And then I still have my squared, so I'm going to bring that down. 5 squared. 5 squared does not mean 5 times 2. It means 5 times 5, which is a beautiful 25. Sorry guys, I spent a lot of time in Kentucky over break, so I might sound a little silly right now. Okay, so gonna match that. 25. Alright, so I did 3, you did 3, and then we're best friends. Look at that. Halfsies. I went halfsies with you. And then, of course, you have your extra practice. That is optional, but if you would like to do it, if you feel like you need more practice, or if you are getting ready for that test and you forgot, what was this unit about? Great time to come back to this extra practice and do it. Send it to me, send it to Miss Rustler. We'll check it for you. Make sure that you are on track. I will see you in the next lesson.